is here. Indeed, is a Phobius. I'm not too sure about this though. I'm not a very big fan of that because it's generally a little bit hard for you to be able to target exactly who you want with the demonic force, and you may accidentally just fly super far away because you are just tracking onto Fanny. It could be possible to just go ahead against this Harif, and once again, it's all about either number one, denying more damage off of the Harif, or deal enough damage onto the Harif. So we gotta have to identify once again, position 3, position 4. What exactly is this Phobius' job? If he's there to soak damage, it's position 4. You just want to build up shields as much as possible, get that Oracle as well as the Clock of Destiny ASAP. So I'm excited to see how that's gonna be like. Team Liquid PH, they've got this one more chance to be able to take a Geek Fam out, and I will say the same thing over to Geek Fam. What do you have for me, Geek Fam? You gotta show me if whether you will bring the darkness into the game.
Well, this is going to be a tough one here, but without further ado, we are going to be jumping straight into game here. It is going to be the decider match of the series, Geek Fam versus TLPH, and it is going to be a very, very important one here because it is going to be a rematch between Vincent as well as Kaotizi here. We saw Kaotizi winning his 1v1s against Vincent, but it was Vincent that won the game number 2. So it is going to be a very, very interesting one.
So if we take a look at the emblems that both of these teams have opted for, it's the similar story, right? The Hayabusa goes in for the Warcry. We see that Fanny, once again, for Vincent, has opted to go for the Lethal Ignition. Wait a second, though. Kaotizi, okay. He's going to be A-okay for the moment. This time, Moskov goes in with the Quantum Charge. So it's a little bit more dynamic. It's not as one-sided as we saw before. Team Liquid, they're not going to put all their eggs in one basket in the early stage of the game, and they're thinking about that late game as well.
Yeah, speaking of late game here, because it feels like Benny QT, you know, he has faced up this matchup before. He knows for a fact that the Moskov is going to be able to somewhat win against the Harif, and Kadera is going to be a point of interest that Team Liquid PH might consider focusing on. And now Gobs, he's in a little bit of trouble here. The OK Shadow Q comes in, forces a flicker of Gobs. That's huge, but TLPH is able to just bait out a battle spell. Oh. Okay, Sanford's fine for the moment. They understand the pressure that Gobs was able to have in that previous game. And they're also showing the fact that they want to take him out as soon as possible, right? They don't want that snowballing to happen. They don't want that scaling to happen, especially for the Arlet when he enters that mid-power spike. So that's the choice right now. Luckily for Geek Fam, they were able to kind of deny that pick away. But 2 minutes in, you see that both of these teams are going to start struggling to get into position to get to that neutral objective. But look at the gold lane. It looks like Benny QT does some decent amount of damage here. Xamarin Force available, but Kadera, he's in a little bit of trouble. He takes a lot of damage from the turret himself, and because of this, Benny QT is able to trade these off. And this spear connects. Oh, it does not. Whew. Kadera might have been in a lot of trouble right there if he would have gotten hit by the spear. But oh no, Kaotizi! He comes in, sees Kadera, trying to get greedy and punishes him for it. And now Vincent forces a retreat on Kaotizi. Alright, not sure what's that about. Huh.
They're not going to contest.
Oh no, JP, they're going for the Divine Judgment here, expecting Vincent going for the steal, but looks like he is going to be in a little bit of trouble. He needs to back out, and now the rest of TLPH, they are going to dive onto his Geek Fam here. Sanford with the Demonic Force jumping through the back lines, but can they extend this fight? The Frigid Force comes in from our boy, and Gobs will be able to get a kill on JP. Sanford finds Beloyski, and now Vincent gets the reset, and he comes back, he finds Kaotizi, this time all by himself, as the rest of TLPH in a lot of trouble. Ah boy, with the catch once more, they find another kill, and TLPH, they trade 50-50s.
Yep, that was a long-drawn skirmish all across the board, but eventually Geek Fam were able to force a reset on the turtle from the nose of Team Liquid, right? Kaotizi, I think he opted to utilize that retribution in that 1v1 in that bottom side of the map, but Vincent utilized it again. And now, however, both these teams are going to be resetting. It looks like Team Liquid are holding on to a little bit of that gold lead. But here we go. It feels like deja vu. Both these teams going to be looking for the neutral objective take once again.
Well, speaking of levels here, Kaotizi as well as Benny QT, they are leading in terms of the gold and XP as of now. And this is going to put Geek Fam in an awkward spot. Like,
you know, it all rides down to whether or not Vincent can do his job, and it seems like TLPH, they are starting to respect this. As you can see, Turtle Skirmish comes in, the Turtle Dance as well. Gobs gonna be forcing out the Demonic Force out on Sanford here. He is gonna be in trouble. Frigid Force from the side catches JP, but do they catch him off? And now, yes, they do. The Divine Judgment connects on Vincent, and he's gonna be the first to fall. They may have lost the Turtle, but it doesn't matter. They've lost their jungler, and now Gobs looking to extend this fight as Sanford. Can he get out to safety? No, I think he's gonna try and bait out Kautizi. Yes, it is. He's gonna lose his life, and Kautizi, will he be able to trade him off? And now Gobs looking for the runaway, the getaway, and he does escape. What a play from Gobs.
That was a little bit interesting in that timing, right? I think Carl Tizzy, what was he waiting for? Was he waiting for that Sky Piercer to come through before he went on to the engage? Because maybe if he came in a little bit sooner, that would have ended quite differently. But now Sanford had to fall. Wait a second.
Oh, Vincent looking to try and catch on Sanji. He does the damage, but he won't be able to go in for the finish. Meanwhile, the spear connects on the bottom lane, but Kautizi manages to finish his job up top on Gobs.
He's an Avenger.
My goodness, he does get the kill, but bottom lane as well. Maloyski extends the fight with Minondrake, with the Frigid Frost, and JP will fall. And TLPH, they're slowly crumbling here. They're fighting everywhere. Now Sanford with the Demonic Force tries to dive the backline, but it's just not enough. They don't have the damage. They don't have the tools to continue on.
Yeah, not just yet though. But it looks like Carl TZ going to play a little bit aggressively here. Looking for a punish perhaps onto Vincent. Trying to take his purple buff away. Sanji and Sanford are on their way. And look at this. They might actually go for this.
Dropping the Dominance Descent coming in. Gobs, he is looking to try to press the pressure here, but they will secure Vincent's purple buff. So that's going to be the objective for now for Geek Fan. But again, the aggression from TLPH is starting to get a little bit scary now.
It looks like they were trying to bait out that resource, right? Bait out that retribution, but Vincent, very disciplined, doesn't actually utilize it, still going to be able to secure his purple buff without it. So coming into this, Geek Fam does still have that retribution to come out and play with against TLPH. Meanwhile, for Chidera, we saw a little peek into his item. He has his first item now, Starlim Scythe. Nowhere near ready just yet, but the fact that he's winning out in the lane is putting some pressure onto Benny QT, especially now that both of these gold laners might want to start participating in these turtle fights.
Yeah, I do see the Thunderbelt purchase up on Gobs as well. That's going to be a little bit of a scary one, especially if this Arlet starts to scale. Meanwhile, the Turtle Dance comes in. JP gets the Divine Judgment, pulls Maloyski in. Can they burst him in time? North's Rage comes in, doesn't connect the third stun, but it is enough to try and set things up for the Frigid Frost. Kadera able to find Sanford. JP still not able to catch Vincent here as he almost dies here. Benny QT, he dives in for the spear. He couldn't get the job done, and he is going to be the ones to get taken out at TLPH. They've overcommitted, and they will pay the price.
Oh, wait a second,
no,
Chidera.
He wants to go for more. Examine Force onto his Kautizi. Does he have the OK Shadow Q? No, he does not, but he does have the protection of Tier 2, so it's just not worth it. Vincent also taking Tier 1 up top.
See, the trades are not happening, right? Geek Fam are... They've warmed up from game number 1, right? Game number 1 felt like a very one-sided game in favor of Team Liquid, but this time around, right, it feels like Geek Fam have got their fundamentals in check. They have their fundamentals on board. Carl Tizzy was able to get that turtle, earlier on, and that turret trade-in was perfect by Vincent. And now it looks like they're looking for more for the side of Team Liquid. I don't think Maloyski will be able to get caught out as easy as they expect. They are still going to be able to protect this turret for now. And Benny Cutie and JP, are they going for a kill onto Gobs? Not just yet, but it's a complete reset for both of these teams.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to make a lot of plays here, but look at this, Geek Fam. They're getting very confident here. They're going to try and stop Kautizi's purple buff, and no, they don't get it at all. So that's going to be Kautizi without the purple buff.
Yeah, for a while, he's going to have to operate without it. So expect that...
Wait a minute.
All right.
What?
All right. Before that kill landed onto Sanford, I saw a boy picking up the Sky Piercer. I didn't expect to see the effects come through that quick, but this really shows that a boy is taking a turn in the mid lane. He is picking up where he left off. He was one of the main pillars in Geek Fam from way back when, and now he's picking that title back up, picking that crown back up as one of the main damage dealers of his team.
This is insane. Like TLPH, they're slowly trying out a lot of things here, but they are eventually crumbling here. We've seen how scary Aurora is during MSC when nobody believed Aurora was a strong hero. SRG brought into the table, and guess what? Now Geek Fam takes a page off it, and boy is just making it work for Aurora every single game.
Yeah, he's leading actually in terms of gold as well as compared to Sanji, who just was able to get that Divine Glaive. So hopefully that Divine Glaive does pay a little bit of dividends into the damage. Seeing as, wait a second, let me check. Okay, Beloyski has the Athena shield, but other than that, there aren't many defensive items on the board. Not really sure why he went in to quickly rush the Divine Glaive.
Yeah, but now having the Zaz in play here, TLPH is still trying to have Sanji making work by getting a little bit of chip damage onto his turrets here. And Geek Fam, they're starting to scout out that this is actually what TLPH has been eyeing for the entire time.
That setup is imminent right now. We do see that Geek Fam have the better hold. Oh, wait a second.
Oh, here he comes as well. They get the Purify up on Sanji to disengage here. Sanford to actually disengage from this fight. They do bait out the final stash coming in, but it's not that long of a cooldown right now.
And right now, despite everything that's been going on, despite Geek Fam showing a lot of promise in a lot of these team fights and a lot of these skirmishes, Carl TZ still does hold the EXP lane. But actually, wait a second, Vincent actually got in that level 13 real quick. He knows that he needs a little bit more to work with in terms of that EXP to get more of an advantage against Carl TZ when they go in eventually for the Lord take. But for the moment, it looks like both of these teams are looking into housekeeping. They're looking to find a little bit more room to play with and work with as they go in for the Lord dance. And we can see that Team Liquid are thinking about that far side, right? We see that Benecutie is up top. He should be able to rejoin the fight really quickly because of the global presence he has with his ultimate.
But he's so scared. Like, look at how safe he's playing, knowing that Vincent may or may not be coming in his direction, right? So he is trying to drag this on to the later stage of the game. They are hoping that Benecutie is going to be the ones to carry the team. And I think TLPH, they've got everything covered right now. Like, they have a pretty solid game plan, but can they execute it and get to that stage?
That's the big question. I mean, technically, Benecutie doesn't have any defensive items. Maybe that's why he was working a little bit more passively in the top side of the lane. He does have that Holy Trinity, however. So his damage is there and his damage is ramping up, right? Corrosion side, we have the Golden Staff as well as the DHS. So he definitely is ready for a team fight. Meanwhile, Chidera is a little bit further on. No Holy Crystal built. Neither is a Divine Glaive. Only the Starlium Sight as well as the Feather of Heaven. So, I don't know. Team Liquid, it looks like they still want to go in for the contest. The Moskov Benecutie is still up top. And I think that's what they're going for. They're looking in for that push in the top side of the map, and then he's looking to join in later on. But look at this.
Conceal play comes in, Divine Judgment to the back lines. They do find one. Sanji first to fall right there. And now a boy finds another kill. They made the mistake. They couldn't find Vincent.
Benny,
and now Geek Fam looking to try to pull the counter play, but Gendy QT will be able to trade a couple ones, but he is left all by himself. But Sanford is still alive. Kyle TZ is still alive. And one fell swoop. They are able to trade 3 for 3. And just like that, TLPH, they had to go in for an all-out brawl.
Yeah, unfortunate, right? Geek Fam were able to press the issue as soon as it favored them. They realized that, okay, maybe Benecutie is actually not present in this team fight, and they were able to get the advantage out of it. However, Benecutie rejoins into the fight with his, oh, wait a second.
Oh, Vincent, he's trying to make a play there, but TLPH stealing the Lord was just huge against Geek Fam. Like, you know, they tried to make a play, you know, JP made the blunder, couldn't find Vincent, but despite the chaos, it looked like Geek Fam was trying to win the, almost winning the fight, but Kautizi as well as Sanford was just left completely untouched. And now with this play coming in as well, Geek Fam, they're just fighting every single pixel just to, you know, secure what they need to get done. And in this case, the purple buff for Vincent is going to be the priority right now.
For sure, they really want to allow, or disallow rather, a way for Vincent's mobility to occur, because that damage is there and his mobility is there, and he's been a big problem in a lot of these team fights that Team Liquid are trying to commit onto. So with that being said, right, you mentioned Carl TZ earlier on. He now has the Blade of Despair. Hopefully that can aid him in his venture of the damage in these particular team fights. And yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, he's got the Sky Piercer with a decent amount of stacks as well. He's like 6-1-1. So one right okay shadow kill, everyone from side of Geek Fam is gonna drop like flies, and that's something that Geek Fam cannot afford to do so. And look at this, immediately okay shadow kill, Kadira gets melted as well. Bloisky almost dying to it because of this, and Kautizi finding two very, very easy kills, and TLPH just finally getting the jump. Tier 3 will fall, and now Geek Fam, another one drops down. Godlike for Kautizi, double kill for him, and now they're looking to close up this game. Vincent trying to clear off all the minions, but I don't think he can do much. He finishes the ball, he finds Kautizi, he resets the Sky Piercer, but there's still minions. It's only Vincent left. Gobs is 5 seconds alive. He's clearing the minions at TLPH. They really want to end this game. It's over, and they're focusing on the crystal, but wait, there's no minions. Can they backdoor the crystal? It is being mowed down, and they do get it. TLPH closes out. Game number 3 takes the series.
Another game down to the wire, but in the end of the day, Team Liquid Philippines still managed to come up on top. It's definitely a tough game for both of these teams, and I gotta have to say, Team Liquid, they went through this game in the hardest fashion. They're pretty much hanging on knife's edge, where Geek Fam seemed like they were doing very well in that final Lord fight, but Team Liquid PH, especially with Kautizi coming in with triple kills, stealing the Lord, that allowed them to push in the lanes and eventually managed to capitalize on a mistake from Geek Fam as well, because I'm not too sure if whether you guys managed to catch that, but I have absolutely no idea why and how Gobs found himself in the hearts of Team Liquid.
Well, it is just, it is what it is, you know. In the midst of chaos, it was just so unpredictable, right? Like, Gobs was trying to make some play, but unfortunately, you know, that's the beauty of what having a Kaja is, right? The Divine Judgment comes in, means, oh, somebody's going to be dragged in. But so far, TLPH, their idea is just making sure that Vincent doesn't get left unchecked. But what they didn't realize was that Kautizi took advantage of the power spike with the Blade of Despair and his, 6 or 7 stacks on his Sky Piercer.
But after this game, I gotta have to say that Geek Fam ID is definitely another team not to be trifled with. I mean, they did definitely mark themselves on top of Team Liquid Philippines, and they have pretty much been pursuing Team Liquid time and time again, and ensuring that they are a team that is relatively scary, especially ever since Vincent has picked up the Fanny. I mean, Eterna, right around the head. Vincent's Fanny is indeed pretty darn scary.
That's why a lot of people respect this Fanny away from him, and I'm glad to see this, right? I knew at the very end of the day that TLPH would be a little bit more ready when it came down to this matchup, but I wasn't expecting Geek Fam to put that much of a fight, and the fact that they're a new team that only had a few months to prepare with this lineup, with Gob stepping in, with Vincent stepping in, the fact that they've been able to get a game and a very close second game away from TLPH, it really shows that this team has potential, and hopefully